So we got some more James Harden news. Apparently, James Harden had a talk with the Houston Rockets organization, and now he has expanded his horizon. Initially, a couple of weeks ago, he talked about being traded to one team and one team only, the Brooklyn Nets. Now he has opened that possibility to contending teams. So now the Houston Rockets can start talking to contending teams as far as the possibility of James Harden being traded to one of those contending teams. Now, the one team that's in the lead as far as a trade destination is the Houston Rockets and the Philadelphia 76ers, because it makes sense. It makes basketball sense. The contracts fit, and it makes both ball clubs happy. They get what they want, okay? So the Philadelphia 76ers get James Harden. James Harden goes to the Philadelphia 76ers. Daryl Morey is over there. Doc Rivers is over there. So that makes sense. And he'll be pairing up with Joel Embiid. And that will be a great roster for the East. A contending roster for an interesting roster for the East. Now, and also the Rockets get Ben Simmons. They get a couple of draft picks. They go ahead and start the rebuilding process a lot faster. And hopefully they might have a star on the horizon of Ben Simmons. Now, I have questions and concerns about Ben Simmons. He's been in the league long enough where he should be developing. And he's been developing, but it's been very slow. Okay. And that causes concerns for me. All right. But that trade does make sense for both ball clubs. Both ball clubs will be perfectly happy, perfectly fine with that trade. Now, there are other trade possibilities and trade rumors for the East. The New York Knickerbockers are want a trade to happen with the Houston Rockets, and the New York Knicks are willing to give up everything that they have on their roster plus their future for one James Harden. Now, that too can make basketball sense for Houston. To be honest with you, the Philadelphia 76ers package is a lot more intriguing than what the New York Knicks can offer for James Harden. And does James Harden really want to go to the New York City Knickerbockers? He wants to win a title. He's not going to win a title anytime soon with the New York Knicks, okay? But nevertheless, that's a possibility, okay? Now, another team in the East that has been rumored and linked to the Houston Rockets is the Boston Celtics, okay? And the Boston Celtics have draft picks as well as some players that they can package and send to Houston, and in return, they get James Harden. Jaylen Brown is going to be in that trade package, by the way. And out of the three teams I just got through talking about, and if I had to put them in order, it will be the Philadelphia 76ers 1, the Boston Celtics is 2, and maybe the Rockets are 4 or 5. So I feel like the best trade package for the Houston is the Philadelphia 76ers package, because they're going to trade Ben Simmons. All right. And even though I have questions and concerns about Ben Simmons, he's a lot better than what the New York Knickerbockers are going to give to the Rockets, or the Boston Celtics given what they're going to give to the Rockets. Now, I've been on this campaign of, I feel like, and from what I gathered from a lot of information, I feel like the possibility of James Harden going to the Golden State Warriors, okay? And I already made a video about this, and there's a lot of hurdles along the way for this deal to be done, for this deal to work, or for this deal to even happen, because, contending teams do not trade in the same conference, okay? And I just don't see the Rockets being that desperate to trade James Harden to the Golden State Warriors. All right. And the Rockets really don't want to see James Harden in the West often. Okay, less is possible. So they'd rather trade him out east. Okay. And I feel like the Golden State Warriors is one of those dark horses. All right. And I have another dark horse, and I'll tell you about it later on in this video. But it does make basketball sense. It will make the Golden State Warriors happy. Not too much for the Houston Rockets, even though the only thing the Golden State Warriors have on their roster that they really want is the kid that they drafted in the NBA draft just a couple of weeks ago, and their future picks. Okay. So that's a possibility, but I still feel like the Philadelphia 76ers package is a lot better than what the Golden State Warriors can offer. All right. But I just don't see that happening because they're both, the Golden State Warriors and the Rockets are both out west, and the Rockets really don't want to see James Harden flourish in the West with another team. Okay. So, there's a lot of hurdles for that to happen. And I feel like the only way that's going to happen if the Philadelphia 76ers no longer want to communicate as far as trading for James Harden. Now, I told you guys I have another dark horse, and it's out east. And not a lot of people are talking about this, but I want to put this out in a video. I want to put this out in the atmosphere just in case this do happen. I haven't gotten any information, any concrete information that this could happen, but do not be surprised if the Toronto Raptors land James Harden. Okay. The Toronto Raptors, they do have players that the Rockets may be interested in, and they also have draft picks. Okay. And they're in the same situation, the same boat as the Golden State Warriors. Now, you're not going to get the Golden State, you're not going to get a Steph Curry, you're not going to get a Klay Thompson trade for James Harden, but you can get some other pieces plus future draft picks plus the draft pick that the Golden State Warriors just picked a couple of weeks ago for James Harden. And that's the same type of negotiations the Toronto Raptors are going to do. The Toronto Raptors are going to do for the Houston Rockets. You're not going to get their best players for James Harden. All right. But you can get assets, and you can get future draft picks. And I stated this on several videos that I feel like the Rockets window has officially closed. They're done. Finito. They're not going to contend for a ring anytime soon. And they're just going to go ahead and start the rebuilding process. Okay. So that's all I got. I feel like out of all the teams I just talked about today, I feel like there's only one team, personally, I feel like have all what the Rockets want, and the Rockets really want to make this trade official and really want to make this happen, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers. They're going to get Ben Simmons. Okay, they're thinking about the future, and the future looks very bright with Ben Simmons. And out of all the teams I discussed, they don't have a Ben Simmons on their roster. Okay, and even though I have concerns about Ben Simmons, about his growth and development, landing him in Houston, the scenery will be probably a lot better, and the environment will be probably a lot better for Ben Simmons. Won't be a lot of pressure on Ben Simmons. All he has to do is just go there, play basketball, grow, and develop at his pace. And you got a star. You possibly have a star in the making. Okay, but for some strange reason, if that does not work, if that does not happen, there are the other teams I've just mentioned. They can possibly get James Harden. So we're just going to have to wait and see I told you guys, I feel like the two dark horses, I feel like they're a long way away to getting a deal done. But I feel like the Golden State Warriors is a dark horse. They're a sleeper. Don't sleep on them. And I also feel like the Toronto Raptors are a dark horse. And that makes sense for the Houston Rockets, because they would rather for him, if they're gonna send him out east, would you want to send him out east to the Boston Celtics, the Philadelphia 76ers? Do you want to send him to a ball club that's a player or two away from Brooklyn Nets, a player or two away from winning a title? Do you want James Harden to win a ring on your watch in 1 year when you traded him? And then after the games are over with, and then the playoffs start, and then the finals start, James Harden is holding the trophy. Do you want to see that? Yeah, he's out east, but I feel like realistically, Houston would love to send him somewhere where he's not going to contend anytime soon, okay? But we're just going to have to wait and see. We're just going to have to wait and see, okay? So I'm up out of here, guys. I will see y'all and catch y'all later. Peace.